Hey Rohan,
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. Congratulations on getting 36 in ACT.
Thank you.
Very happy for your accomplishment. So you have been busy for a long
Yeah.
time. So I just thought, in order to help our students, I wanted to know few of the things from you, so that
hmm
we can help our students. They can understand how to prepare for ACT and all.
hmm
So, Rohan, you made a perfect score in ACT and you have been part of Masterclass Space also. Wanted to know that in order to prepare for a specific subjects like ACT English, how did you prepare? How did you manage? Because so time is a big constraint for many students. So how did you manage to do that and get through this difficult phase?
So for me, English, the English section personally was very easy. I find it very natural. But that's because I have like English education, but also because I think since I was in seventh or eighth grade, like especially in my middle school, there was a lot of emphasis on learning grammar and a lot of emphasis on learning punctuation. So by the time I went into high school, I was already using this on a very like daily grammar and punctuation on a very daily basis, something that I got very used to. So it came to a certain point where I can just recognize a sentence and be like, is that wrong or not, or is that not wrong? So whenever I finish English section, I might have like 10 to 15 minutes left. So that's just, I think, more so natural for me personally. But it's just figuring out, I got a 35 on the English section. Sometimes I'll get like 36s on practices. But I think what really helped is knowing your rules in a way that it's not just like, based on knowledge, but you're able to use it intuitively as you're taking the test.
I get it. I get it. Ron, I took one or two sessions of yours for ACT Science, and science is a big hurdle for many students.
hmm
So, how do you, what do you recommend to students? Because it becomes a huge hurdle when you see the different, data interpretation questions. How one should prepare? I mean, as per your experience.
Um, so the weird thing for me was I prepared a lot for the first one I took and got a 34. And on September 10th, I took the other one. For that one, for the test itself, I didn't have a lot of time to prepare because I'm in the IB program and I have a lot of stuff going on, especially college apps right now. So for me, it was just like at most like 2 weeks beforehand, I started maybe doing like 30 minutes a day. But even then, I didn't get enough time. So I think in some sense, the 36 was a surprise for me. But I guess on the day of, the biggest thing is reading it literally and being like careful because I tend to rush a lot when I did the science section. So trying to find the balance between rushing and not rushing. And in terms of the data interpretation question, just trying to, I mean, this is what I got from like Taskmasters here too, and on the masterclass was reading the science section first, rather, not reading the science section, reading the questions first,
First.
and then looking at the question and referring it back to it and then doing it really quickly so that you're doing it properly. But I guess like the flip side to that is that you don't want to do too quickly so that you're rushing it and making mistakes. So it's like you have to do it accurately and you have to just be careful, but at the same time, it speeds up. You want to have a faster pace.
Very good. So, how helpful over our sessions I took, Mr. Angad took, Mr. Atul also took the science sections for you? How helpful they were for you?
They were helpful in that I already took something called Taskmaster before this for the science section, and what y'all taught and Taskmasters taught were the same thing. So what became more helpful was the practice that I got to do because there's not a lot of practice out there for like ACT, or at least I didn't know of it until I came like when I did practice here, and then I found more places to practice. So I guess the biggest thing was just getting more practice and being able to like be more intuitive when answering the questions and thinking more on lines of logic than trying to, brute force the test.
So, you made 36 in science section,
35 in English and science, and perfect score in reading and math.
reading and math. And what's your recommendation for mathematics? Because you have to be really fast, 60 questions, 60 minutes.
Um, for me, a lot of people, I think, in American education system find math very hard, but like I said, I take the IB program. I take AAHL, so that's like the foundations for AAHL is like the foundations for the age like the very simple stuff in my math class is already covered it already allows me to do well on the ACT itself. So by the time I came into junior year or senior year, I knew everything everything on the test. So in that sense, like when you've gone through so much rigorous math, it really helps you do well on this section. So that's more so like, you know, try to that's just more so coming from the experience of taking the hardest math classes in my school. So if you take personally, like taking those allowed me, I didn't have to study for math and I ended up getting perfect score. So that was the benefit of doing well on math. I mean, doing taking hard math courses because I didn't need to really even try hard, even have to like study much for math at all compared to like maybe reading my science.
So, why did you choose ACT or SAT? Is there some particular reason you did that?
For personally, the SAT felt like forced onto me. Like it was just like my parents like made me do the SAT a lot. Like at the beginning, and I didn't like it. I was like, I can't do this. I didn't really like doing it, or let alone I didn't even want to touch it. So I was just like, I want to move to ACT. And the other reasoning was like for reading, I found reading really difficult because it's just the comprehension itself is very high level in a sense. I there was a point where you could like basically based on logic I could figure the answer out, but the hard part was just like doing that on a test is so difficult. Compare that to the reading section on the ACT, which is way easier but just faster pace. I felt that if I just could figure out the pace for the ACT on the reading section, I could get a perfect score on that.
Mhm. Good, good. So, what you are a 12th grader, right?
Yeah.
So, which all colleges you are aiming at this moment?
Cornell, UT Austin for computer science, Georgia Tech, um, MIT, UIUC, and some other schools as well. That's it for now. And I also got into A&M engineering, but yeah,
You already got it.
yeah, into A&M engineering.
I see. So, you want to pursue computer science?
Yeah.
I see. So, what are your long-term plans? I mean, career. What do you wish to do, by the way?
Probably like entrepreneurship, like mixing computer science with entrepreneurship.
Wow,
I guess also into like quantum computing and stuff like that, because that's a growing field as well. Getting into that and artificial intelligence.
very interesting. I mean, this quantum computing is a booming field already.
Yeah, really big. Yeah.
Okay. So, Rohan, just apart from academics, what are your hobbies, by the way?
I like reading a lot. That's like one of my favorite hobbies. I read a lot of books. I just enjoy that a lot because I just enjoy like the human experience of it. So yeah. Other than that, sometimes I don't I used to watch a lot of TV shows, but I've been busy recently, so I don't.
So, you read fiction, non-fiction?
Fiction. I read a lot. I don't like nonfiction personally.
I see, I see. So this is the only thing we wanted to know, and we wish you good luck for college admissions.
Hmm.
Do let us know which college you finally get into. We hope
Hmm.
you get into the best ones.
Hmm. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Bye bye.
Yeah.